Good afternoon. I'm Aziza Shuler. We're bringing you special coverage today. The Philadelphia No Kings protest is underway. Hundreds are now marching and rallying against the Trump administration and its policies. That march started at Love Park and is traveling along the parkway to the steps of the Art Museum. That is where we find CBS News Philadelphia's Nikki Dementri. She joins us live from the Art Museum steps. Nikki, it seems as if people are moving out of that area at this moment.
Aziza, we're nearing the end of this rally. You can see, just like you said, the crowd has really thinned out over the last hour or so. The rain did pick up at one point, and that's when many people told me they've had a long day and they are heading home. And we've heard that, again, over the last hour as people were making their way out of Aikens Oval and the Art Museum steps and back down towards the Parkway to head home. Now, I want to take photojournalist Bill Siders is going to pan over here. You could still see there is a police presence here and there are still roads closed. You could see further in the distance that there is a garbage truck, a DPW garbage truck and dump truck just blocking the road. It's been like that all afternoon and actually earlier this morning. Things will start to open up as this rally and march comes to a complete end. But we asked a lot of people where they were coming from. This is supposed to be the flagship march, and organizers were encouraging people in D.C. to actually come to Philadelphia because there was not going to be a march in D.C. today. So we asked people where they were coming from. A lot of locals here, but not exactly from Philadelphia proper. They're from the burbs. They did have protests closer to their own home, but they decided to come here. This is what they told me as to why.
Wanted something a little bit bigger, even though that's local, that's great. I think I want to be part. Last time I did a really big one was 2017 with the Women's March, Pink Hats. It was phenomenal. I walked for 3 hours next to a woman who had been at the civil rights marches. So hoping to replicate something simple.
If they could take one message away, what do you want that big message to be?
Oh, that's a really tough one because there's so many things he's doing. But, protect our senior citizens, keep Medicaid and Medicare safe, keep our Social Security safe, stop sending the military against us, and keep our hardworking immigrants safe as well.
A lot of different issues brought folks out here to the Art Museum steps today. Taking another look, you can see another wave of protesters are leaving this area. If you talked to us about an hour ago when you did, Aziza, we couldn't stand in this area because it was packed with people. That again has changed as this rally is coming to an end. For now, live at the Art Museum, Nikki Dementri sending back to you in the studio, Aziza.
Yeah, Nikki, it's interesting to hear that people came from the suburbs into the city to be a part of this protest. Now let's turn to CBS News Philadelphia reporter Eva Anderson live in Norristown, where there was a No Kings rally that just ended recently. There were hundreds of people out there where you are.
Aziza, yes, and now what we saw out here today is probably quite a bit different than what Nikki saw. It's in the hundreds, not the thousands, and not the steps of the Art Museum, but the steps of the Montgomery County Courthouse here at the No Kings rally in Norristown, where organizers say it was about voicing their opposition against what they call a rise in authoritarianism across our country. So we saw what we'd say about 300 to 400 people here at the rally, and they held handmade signs. Many of them said "No Kings" in one form or another. The crowd chanted, they danced, they cheered as 7 speakers took the stage, including local commissioners and state and federal lawmakers. ACLU attorney Steve Loney closed the event, calling it one of the most powerful grassroots movements he's witnessed in years. And you can hear more of what the people in the rally said and the full story here from Norristown later on our newscast at CBS News Philadelphia at 6 p.m. For now, Aziza, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Eva. And elsewhere in Montgomery County, a No Kings rally was held today in Conshohocken. People with signs gathered on both sides of Fayette Street at 4th Avenue. They held up signs in support of immigration and against proposed cuts by the Trump administration. Let's head back now to Philadelphia. This is live looking at the Ben Franklin Parkway. Crowds are beginning to thin out, as our Nikki Dementri mentioned. The No Kings rally wraps up in front of the Art Museum. This week, President Trump pushed back on the idea that he has been acting like a king.
Several No Kings protests planned across the country on Saturday as well. What are your thoughts on those?
What do they call it? No Kings?
No Kings.
I don't feel like a king. I have to go through hell to get stuff approved. A king would say, I'm not going to get this. A king would have never had the California mandate to even be talking to him. He wouldn't have to call up Mike Johnson and Thune and say, fellas, you got to pull this off, and after years we get it done. No, we're not a king. We're not a king at all.
Meantime, in Washington, D.C., people have started to arrive for tonight's military parade. Security is tight and fences line the streets for the event. The parade is celebrating the Army's 250th birthday. It's also coinciding with the president's 79th birthday. The parade route runs along Constitution Avenue. It kicks off near the Lincoln Memorial, then proceeds along the National Mall, past the White House and the Washington Monument. Well, thank you for joining us for our special coverage. I'm Aziza Schuler. Our crews will continue monitoring the situation in Center City through the day, and you'll find the latest on air and online at cbsphiladelphia.com. Have a great day.